Hello everyone, good afternoon, happy Saturday. Today I'm having this transmission from New South Wales. We decided to come here for the weekend, and let me introduce myself. My name is Liliana Amaro. I'm a sleep coach, infant massage instructor, and lactation consultant. I'm also architect by trade, I will say, and today I want to share you some little tips and on items that can make your room very useful, very pleasant, and also very comfortable for your child. I'm not going to talk about so much as the space and decorations and type of furniture, but I can give you some tips on that, and also what I've been by experience and by what I've been reading in the books can help to make your journey easy through the night. Okay, let's start by the room. Always we recommend, if possible, and if your space or your house allows to have a separate room for the baby. It's always good to have that designated space to have all the items of the baby or babies that are here are soon to arrive, or you already have. So always when you have a designated space, it's easier because you can plan much easier where to have the stuff. How are you going to deal with the feedings, with the night? Where are they going to play? Where are you? It's also part of the fun to plan that. Sometimes it's not possible because we live in a small space. We have plans for the future, but it's a surprise. Having children can be a surprise, and then, well, what are we going to do? Sometimes what happens is we decide to have the babies in our room because it's easier. We don't need to travel anywhere during the night. We will have them there, so that is okay as well. So first, if you have, let's suppose that you can have, or you are planning to have a designated room but it's not ready yet. Well, I will recommend first, very important, items and furniture made of natural materials. Why? This is much safer and much better for the children, because obviously in event of fire, natural items take longer to burn. And that's just a safety precaution. Natural is much better for the environment, for your children. Of course, if you buy things that are made of plastic and stuff like that, well, we don't know how they were made. There are a lot of things that are made with petrol these days, or with chemicals that we don't know. But if you buy things with made of natural materials, will be much safer and much more recommended. Paint. If you are deciding to paint the room, or you already have it paint and you want to give a refresh, look for safe paints that have not much chemicals after. This is a very, very interesting topic. The paints we use in the house, or sometimes we want to, before the arrival of the children or the babies, we need to we want to refresh the room or the full house, and then we go, no, let's go to Bunnings and buy the one cheap paint and let's paint the house. But you know that the paints over the years and over the time keep generating fumes, and the smells and the chemicals are still floating around in the room. Sometimes we don't know, and it is very dangerous. I also noticed, for example, in the childcares, I presume they don't have much care about the materials they're using. Or maybe, I'm not sure, but they just give it a little fresh, and then you can smell for weeks those chemicals in the paint. So this is one recommendation that I give you. In terms of lights, no lights, if you are fully into adapting a room for your children, for your babies to arrive, one recommendation is about the light. Get installed a dim switch If you don't have it installed and you can do it, get it done, because it will be very good to be able to be dimming the lights at night time. This will be so useful for you and for the room, obviously. If this is not an option because it's already switch installed, you don't want to go to the hassle of finding an electrician, or anyway, it's too much. One recommendation is apart from having the light, the normal light in the room, look for investing into a good lamp that can be dim, or a night light that goes and that can be plugged on low level, in where it pretty much will be used for you during the night, just walking and you cannot see. Blackout curtains are very, very high recommended, because this will be promoting sleep. Obviously, when you can block the light of the sun, especially in summer, recommended very thick material. I'm actually close to a curtain here. Let me just, this very thick canvas that has like a lining at the back is really good. I was lucky I can pull it from here. But even though this is a very light color, I don't know if you can notice, it's white, but this makes a great blackout curtain. So blocks completely. If I pull all the curtains in this room, it goes completely dark. So very good. If you guys have any questions or want to comment about, or want to send me a picture of your room and you want a suggestion, you're welcome to do so. At the time now, or if you're looking at this video in a repetition or later on, you can also send me a question or put a question in the comments. You're always welcome. As well, with this, I want to let you know that I've been working with one of my friends. We both study architecture together, and she took I went to do the sleep consultancy, and she got more into the Feng Shui. She's a fully Feng Shui consultant and can work with you into the elements that are recommended for the day. She works it out by the date of birth, energy, and then she just looks at more elements. I don't really know much about it, but she looks into it and which elements you can put. That is just a balance between all the elements in earth, like fire, air, water, and what is the other one? And fire. So she will recommend you which items can be placed, or how can you balance the energy in the room. And this, believe me, helps a lot. Colors, she recommends colors by the age. Well, this is another full topic, but we can do that for you as well. Obviously, the contact is through me. She because she's been doing this for a lot of my clients that are interested into, or they already have a baby and they're going to move to a new house or something like that. I suggest, well, I have this service, maybe you will like it, and I put them in contact with her. She talks to you and everything. Okay. So anyway, going back to the materials. Well, we're talking about the curtains. Blackout curtains, fully recommended. Another element very important in the room is, if possible, if the room of your children is big enough, to have a chair, to have a place in where you can sit while you're attending the babies, or while maybe they're waking up and you're coming and nurse. And by saying chair, I will highly recommend to have a sofa, having a couch, maybe two-seater couch. It doesn't need to be big or anything. It needs to be obviously comfortable, and it will be nice. Why? Because it can help you to rest. If you're really tired, it can help you to nurse. It just can be very useful. You're going to spend a lot of time then in the room during the nights. Once you decide to move your children out of your room, or if you decide to that they sleep there from the beginning, you're going to be spending heaps of time there. So a couch will be better. If you cannot put a couch, a chair. I do not recommend rocking chairs for the danger that they represent to the children later on. When they start moving and they start crawling and they want to lift themselves, it can be a hazard. So I do not recommend it. Also, I don't recommend it because we tend, they are nice, but we tend, I will suppose this is my child, and then tend to start rocking, and then the children can get used to that motion of rocking. And when they get used to that, then we start triggering habits that we perhaps don't want for later on and during the night. Having a changing station, is that possible? Is that essential? Yes. I have to say, for me as a mother, one of the best things I ever bought, and I bought it secondhand, was a changing table. A wooden changing table that was perfect height. It has wheels. I have used it for my three kids, and it's something that I remember talking about with my sister. She said, "Oh, just get one. It's so good for your back." I actually hesitate. I didn't have one for the first 2 weeks, and I was changing my baby in on the top of the bed, and I start feeling how my low back start getting strained. So, changing a station essential. Obviously, a very good one. The bigger the better. If you can fit next to your changing station the nappies, the creams, all the stuff that you might need for the nappy change time, that is much better. If you can not afford one of those fancy ones with drawers and all that, doesn't matter, just get a simple one. I tell you, mine cost me $20 secondhand. I cleaned it, gave it a clean. Obviously, I bought a new mattress because it was just the table that someone had in the house and was not using. But I gave it a clean, perfect. Bought a brand new mattress, which is good. Remember, the mattress always needs to have a little dip in the a little lower part, so the baby is right on the middle, and this protects from rolling in and out. Some chairs, or sometimes it's very good to have a belt that will secure the children on the top of the changing table. That is good. Obviously, I recommend a single one. You don't need to have two or one for children, because unless you have a permanent helper, then you need two. But if it's just you will never, well, I'm assuming maybe be changing two nappies at the same time. So one, and then obviously you can I've seen a few posts in there when people are sharing their nurseries. The changing stations are really good. But my recommendation will be, when you're changing one of your children, just place the other one in the cot or in a safe spot. With this, leads me now to a chair or a rocking chair. That is recommended, the high chair, because, well, high chair, not so much in the room. I mean, it's like one of those chairs that are adjustable and they can be rocking. They are really good. I didn't have one of those, but I've seen some people, and my sister had it. Is the ones, and I think a lot of people have. Some are very, very low, and they can be rocking, and they make noise, and then sometimes it's like a bouncing net as well. But there are some that are very adjustable, and then also it can be moved forward or backwards, so the baby can actually fall asleep in there very safely, or can be seated and then it can be looking at everything. One of those will be very essential to have in the nursery, I will say, because this way you can avoid a little bit the screaming while, let's say, you are, always talking about twins when I'm talking to the parents of multiples. We need to change one of the babies. We place the baby in the changing table, and the other one starts screaming because perhaps needs to be changed or something. But if we have one of those chairs that are adjustable in the back, and the baby can be seated watching, and we can be talking to them, getting more involved always helps. So these kind of chairs will be very useful. Not sure about brands. I'm not going to talk about brands because they change. They are very different. I don't actually do reviews in all these products, but there are essential things that I've seen before that they really work, and they can be very helpful. Okay, another essential thing, if you are breastfeeding or you are alternating the breastfeeding, having a breastfeeding pillow, essential. Looking after our posture, we have a chair, a very good chair, very good place to rest. And if we have and saying that, if we have a couch and we have a very good breastfeeding pillow, perfect. That will be the best thing we can do, because we can have, if we have a couch, sorry, I got some funny light coming up here. If we have a couch, we can put the breastfeeding pillow across, and we can have both babies, one in either breast. Perfect. Okay, don't forget about that. Now let me tell you about cots. This is a big topic about the cots, because some people ask, well, I'm going to have twins, so I already have twins. They both are sleeping in co-sleeping with me, or we having them in our in bassinets in our beds, and we don't know if we should purchase a cot or two cots. What can we do? Well, this is pretty much very personal decision, I guess, very particular, and you will have to decide this on your own, and well, with your family, obviously, with your partner, or what you're looking forward to have as a sleep arrangement. What is the best? I won't pinpoint that one thing will be exactly the best. Sorry, I'm trying to find the best. Yeah, here. The best light. Yeah. What is the best arrangement? If you have two bassinets and you don't know if you want to put them in the first cot, I by experience as a sleep consultant, I will recommend a cot per each of the kids will be much better, because they will have freedom of stretching. If they move, if they roll, if they stand, if they wake up, they won't bother the other one. They are mothers or families that prefer that the twins or the children, if they're triplets, they remain all the time together. You can do that. I work with a family in Mexico, a family with two twin girls, and what they actually did, I did like this, and I haven't seen it here in Australia. You have more experience in this sleeping arrangement of twins, and you've seen it before. They have a double bed, normal double bed, but they have placed a rail around it, a wooden rail. It worked like a massive cot, and it was well, what was happening with this family, the parents could go in and sleep with the two babies. They were two girls, and they can get out, but they fit perfectly. So that, I thought, I actually got a picture somewhere. I will see if I can find it and post it after. So that was perfect, because perfect, enough room for everybody. But is this what you want? Sometimes we go more for the looks, and we decide, oh no, I want two beautiful cots next to each other, boy and girl space, blah blah blah. Just think about what will be more practical, what you want to do, and then go work with that. Okay? I would say, when your children are sleeping well, doesn't really matter where are they sleeping. I always say, a child that learns to sleep, it will sleep well. Is going to sleep well everywhere. So this is just recommendations. Cots. Sometimes traveling cots can be very helpful. If you have one or you have two, you can sometimes, if you're having troubles with the sleep situation, sometimes splitting the children different rooms can help. So porta cots are very useful as well. Then if you go somewhere else, and you always have obviously you two babies, and then you need to be, two cots can be very good, two portable cots, and then you can make them look really nice. It's not necessarily that they need to be fancy or anything, so don't worry, but obviously look for the safety in these cots. Okay. What another thing that let's say you are just pregnant, you're expecting your multiples soon, you're expecting twins or triplets, and you don't know if having Moises or cots or bassinets, what will be the best? Should I get 3 of each? What should I do? The recommendation is always to have a cot, no matter what. If you have a cot, and then apart from that you decide to have a bassinet, perfect. If you obviously we're talking multiples here, multiple bassinets, so that is good. But if you are tight on budget, go for the cot. The cot is an element, a piece of furniture that you will be using for a long time, up to 3 to 5 years, not like the others. Any other sleep arrangement that is for the small babies, you will be using just a maximum 6-7 months. And a lot of families then contact me, for example. They say, oh, I just wonder if the fact that my child is still sleeping in the bassinet can be one of the factors that he's not sleeping through the night, because it's getting very tight for him, like for him or for her, no, it doesn't really matter. And then I said, well, yes, imagine that I decide to put you in a box in where you almost to the edge and very limited of what can you do with your natural body movement. Imagine that you want to stretch your arm and you can't because you are in a box. So same thing for the baby. So go for a cot. We have the monitors. The monitors, I'm not a fan of monitors. They can be useful, of course, if you have premature babies, if you have a baby that has some medical issue and you need to be, or you want to be fully supervising what's happening while sleeping in the cot or in the bed, it is good. It is good. But what happens at nighttime? At nighttime, when we have a monitor that is overlooking the cot or place it right on top of the cot, and this monitor has an infrared light to see and capture the movement of the child during the night, it can be very bad, because that red light, that little dim light that turns on when the baby is moving as a sensor as well, can make your baby wake up more than is already. I know the point of this light is to light and find the baby and capture whatever is happening. But by natural reaction, as I always talk about it, of any human being is to feel to find orientation. So the first thing that we do when we open our eyes or start moving during the night is try to find something that will give us some hint of where we are and what time it is. And by seeing that red light, it can make us do that. If, for example, we're sleeping towards they are sleeping, the babies are sleeping towards this side, and then they suddenly turn this way and the light is bright, it can give you, depends on which stage of sleep they are, it can give you a little bit of sensation, can give them a little bit of sensation, and make them wake up. So I do not recommend monitors. Good for daytime if your house is really big and you need to be in the kitchen and the babies are here looking, very good. But at nighttime can be it can be very painful for you as well, because you are not just worried about the babies that can't wake up. You start worrying about when the monitor is going to send you that signal for you to wake up. So it becomes like one more thing that you need to worry about. So if you're already watching over 2 or more children and then you have a monitor that you need to check all the time, then becomes one more trigger. And sometimes you don't listen, you don't hear anything about your babies. The babies are really well and sleeping, but you suddenly have a light sleep, you light sensation, go check the monitor and oh my God, no, nothing. But there is one more thing that you will have to worry about, and it's not recommended. So no monitors if possible. We become a little bit of slaves of them, so I don't want it. Some others ask me if there is good to have mobiles, the mobile, the little ones that go on top of the cot. And I said, they are not harmful at all. They are good. They are nice. They look beautiful. Have them if you need to. If you been giving one, I love the wooden ones particularly. Some people like the ones with music, but I do not recommend one with light. And nevertheless, the ones that make you the full constellation of the sky and play you music, and it's just, that is more stimulation at bedtime than anything else. I do not recommend those, but a mobile is okay, just to keep the baby entertained, I guess, when it's when it's awake. Sorry, no before sleeping. Before sleeping should not have stimulation. It can be very quiet, and if it's a one calm one, it can make him sleep, but not essential either if you don't need it. Which kind of toys? Which kind of toys are good? A comforter is very good, very recommended. Which kind? Okay, safe, soft, not fluffy, small, good size for the baby that cannot be harmful for the baby. Obviously, I don't recommend to have many, because as they grow and they tend to instead of falling asleep, they start playing with them, and then just it's more distraction. For little ones, the ones that have big eyes or colorful things can be very good, because in the nighttime when they are placed next to the cot, they can just start staring at them, especially if they are eyes. They stare at them and then they fall asleep. That can be very good. Safe ones, obviously, not big ones. Which other? Okay, about in regards of bedding. Okay, let's talk about bedding. What can make your life so much easier? If you have a mattress protector for the cot, mattress protectors are always good in case of any leaks, any mess. You can take it off, put it on the side, and put a fresh bedding, and then you move on, wash it and use it the next day. So that can be very helpful. Also helps you to preserve the mattress, and obviously keep it clean and very good for the baby. What to do in winter? In winter, I always recommend to have a knitted or very warm bottom and fitted on the sides. Any material, depending on the age. I prefer natural. I prefer cotton. I prefer warm. If it's knitted, it has to be a very close stitch, and obviously that fits the full cot. And if you can secure it on the sides, much better. That's for the bottom. If you can put a sleeping bag, perfect. So you are not so worried about getting the baby getting out of the blankets or anything. You can have a better sleep, and the baby can have a better sleep because he's not going to get cold. More than for those that live in cold places, like I live in Queensland there, so it's always really cold for us. So if we put a sleeping bag, we know the base is warm. They can always roll, and as they roll, the surface keeps warm. I do not recommend those fluffy kind of like a toy suit suits that they that they sell in the shops, because they actually make the kids really really warm, and they can be overheated. I remember buying one for my daughter as well. It's like a little panda sort of thing looking, and she looked very cute. And I put it when I thought, oh, she will sleep perfect. And you know what? It was a mistake. She woke up like 2 hours after sleeping, screaming. When I went to see her, she was completely drenched in sweat. So I do not recommend that, because it gets them very, very warm, and it's just much better to have some soft cotton suit, a warm like a sleeping bag. You know, those sleeping bags with arms free, much better, because the kid feels a bit free on movement and stuff. So that's very good. Sorry. The light is playing up on me. It's changing. It's going down, the sun. Okay. The dummy. Sometimes mommies, and many times I will say, they're wondering if a dummy can be helpful or not. Here is again, it's a decision that you need to make. No, do you want dummies? Is someone telling you, advising you to use dummy? Don't worry about what everybody says about the dummies. Just make your own decision. Do you think you need it? Do you think it's time? If you have passed 3 months so far without dummies, don't go there, I would say. Just go for other techniques. It's not the best way to sleep, and they can backfire on you. I got some information about dummies, or some pros and cons that it can help you to decide for that. Okay? Well, I think I'm getting to the end. The last thing to talk about is to have a rug. Is it good? Is it safe? What do you recommend? Well, If you have carpet, of course, carpet does the job. You can have a rug to protect, because it can be many accidents. You know, babies spew, they wee, sometimes we drop the bottle, so many things. So it can protect your carpet, but make sure it is safely secure. It's not dangerous for you when you walk in during the night. Remember, at some point your children are going to be crawling and climbing and lifting and everything else, so make sure the material is good. It's not very synthetic, natural. Like I always say, I always will recommend natural. And always it's good to have them and have a little rug for them to play. So there are heaps in the market. I personally had for my children soft plastic one that it was really big, so the bigger the better, because they can roll and all that, and then I can just wipe it. If anything happen, I just can wipe that rug, and that's it. I never went more for the fancy side or decorative side. I just thought something practical that I can move to different places, so that is very good to have. And pretty much that, and this is all I have for you in regards to all the items that can make your nursery very useful and can help you through the night to make your journey easier. Are things, elements that are necessary, they can be useful, and also it can make your life easier through the night. If you have any more questions, if you already have something, or you are in the shop and I'm not sure, I'm happy to tell you if it can be useful. Of course, you can always ask the group. That's what the group is for. And well, this is all I have for you today. Okay, I hope you have a very nice rest of the weekend. Thank you so much for watching my video, and thank you so much to Info, to Naomi, and everybody that got to the end. I appreciate it, and see you next month. Okay, I'm Liliana Amaro, and always here to help. Bye.